abilities and combos that were incredibly strong at one point or another.
We'll watch this one, and then after this, I want to go ahead and do another run for my my mount, okay? Just give me 1 second here. Let me read everything else. Master Rob donated $19.89. You two losers have provided me with so much entertainment over the past year. Get MC Hammer a new PC. Heart McCool, thank you very much, Rob Master. Code Santos with the 5. You and Asmongold are the greatest duo on Twitch. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Neo the 1 for McCool. We know you won't let us down. Neo the 1, thank you very much for the $50. I appreciate that. Muffin Pants with the $5.55. See y'all in Classic. Thank you very much. OG Adamo, thank you very much for the $50 as well. Hope you guys hit your goal. Much love from Norway. OG Ammo, thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I've gotten everybody else. Holy shit, yeah, I'm glad that I caught up with those. Alrighty, let's go.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. The 10 most powerful abilities in vanilla WoW. So this is basically just going to be the Warrior's spellbook. Just for anybody that doesn't know this already. Yeah, 4,500. Like I never thought it would go this high, honestly. I never fucking did. That's insane. Okay, let's go over here.
Wait.
What?
Wait a second. You didn't think we were going to hit the goal?
I mean, no, I just kind of put a number out there. I was like 4,000.
So what would happen if there was only $400? Are you trying to embarrass me?
Look, I mean, you know,
the rest of the bar's white. There's a little bit of green.
Look.
You're trying to embarrass. You're supposed to be my friend, man.
Dude,
you're supposed to say.
What's wrong?
You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say, dude, I knew we were gonna crush that goal, man. You're fucking McCool, man. You're my best boy. You're awesome, dude. You're supposed to say that kind of shit.
You're not $400,
dude,
man.
I never thought in a million years.
Well, it's not. It's not like I never.
Like, what the fuck is that?
No,
about?
I'm not saying like I never thought of it because you suck or something. That's not what I even meant, dude.
You're saying I suck and I don't matter.
Okay. Let's watch the video. Let's get back to the fucking video. Jesus, God. You just can't win, guys. You just can't win.
Other in vanilla WoW. But this list will also cover more than just strong damage dealing abilities, and cover defensive and CC effects as well. At number 10, we've got kind of a meme combo in the form of the Paladin Bubble Hearth. You see, Divine Shield, the Paladin ability that gives him immunity to all forms of damage and debuffs, lasted for 12 seconds in vanilla. Hearthstones had a 10-second cast time, so a Pally who was in trouble could simply use Bubble and then cast Hearthstone to get out of anywhere. If a Pally got caught out in the open world and was dying, they could just Bubble Hearth out of there. If a Pally was mad at a raid, they could just pull the boss and then Bubble Hearth. It was the ultimate escape tool, and there were...
That shit happened. I told the same story, right? The 4 horsemen. This one guy literally walking in there like a bomb in slow motion. Because like they kicked him out of the group, but he had like the 1 minute thing until he got removed from the instance. He was running towards 4 horsemen. This was like in Nax 40. He fucking aggroes them. And he bubble hearts out, and like the 4 horsemen just like run through the wall because we thought that they wouldn't chase us through the wall. Like Mograine just comes busting through that fucking wall like the Kool-Aid man, just killing fucking everybody, man. It was so funny. Like it was funny, but it also was like it was annoying because it would take like 40 minutes for everybody to get back. But the first fucking time, just watching, just killing everybody, and everybody in Vent like just fucking angry, dude. Those were the days. That was so fucking fun, man.
No ways to remove it in vanilla WoW, as Mass Dispel and Shattering Throw weren't added until later expansions. So, if a Pally wanted to run away, there wasn't anything you could really do to stop them. Number 9, Frost Shock. Frost Shock is also another kind of a meme ability that everyone liked to call overpowered, but it kind of deserved its infamy to an extent. Frost Shock was one of the 3 shock shamans could use, which all shared the same short 6-second cooldown. And since 3 abilities all shared the same cooldown, Blizzard wanted to balance each one in a way that made you want to pick it over the other 2. Earthshock had a baked-in interrupt, and was also kind of overpowered to an extent.
It was really overpowered.
Flame Shock just did damage and put a dot up. and Frost Shock did damage and slowed the target for 8 seconds.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Frost Shock did damage? Because I meant to say Frost Shock did
ridiculous
a lot of damage. It did way more damage than an instant cast spell with such a short cooldown really should have been able to do.
It was so bad that someone literally made a video of a Paladin rerolling to a Shaman just to cast Frost Shock. It was that fucking ridiculous.
Plus, it had a slow attached to it that was longer than its cooldown, meaning you could keep someone permanently slowed with Frost Shock. Frost Shock was one of the few ranged slows in the game that could do that, in vanilla WoW anyway, and the only one that also did damage. And in vanilla WoW, where mobility was low, this was actually super powerful for that time period. So much so that Blizzard added DRs to slows in patch 1.4. Basically, just to deal with the Frost Shock problem. In case you were wondering, DRs don't exist on slows today. They removed them from that in the Burning Crusade.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Nathan donated $430.
Wait, what?
Why
the fuck would you do that?
I wanted to be the one to finish it.
Nathan! Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Holy shit. You fucking idiot! Now he's gonna get $21. Nice job, retard!
Oh...
You just cost me $21, Nathan!
What? No, it's not like that, dude. It's not like that. It'll be fine, okay? Okay, just give me 1 second now. We'll go back to the video. We want a close vault. I don't know what that means, Trixfer. But thank you very much for the $5. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, dude. Okay, just give me 1 second here. We'll get this done.
Crusade. Slows were a much bigger deal in vanilla WoW, and Shamans were one of the most mobile kiters thanks to Frost Shock. Number 8. Fear. Not just the Warlock ability Fear, but all fears. Fears in vanilla WoW worked a little differently than they do today. Functionally, they are basically the same. When used on someone, they run around randomly and can't use abilities. And in vanilla WoW, Fear had a chance to break early if they took damage. This is still the case today as well, only the damage threshold worked differently. Fear had a higher chance to break the more damage they took from an ability, and a low chance to break from small amounts of damage. So if you just put dots on a target and used a channeled ability, Fear was basically a 12-second stun. Technically,
that was the good days, man. I used to love that shit. I played an Affliction Warlock. It was absolutely fucking beautiful. Do we finally get to see? No, Coach John $50. Thank you. McCool fan donated $100. Thank you so much, man. Here, take another 100 for some new ear warmers. Thank you very much, McCool fan, for the $100. I fucking appreciate that, man. Thank you, dude. Let me get the rest of these.
Hunters, priests, and warriors also had fears, but only warlocks had a spammable, no cooldown fear. So if a warlock got opened up on in PvP, they could have their invisible succubus seduce the target, turn around and cast fear, then put up full dots and use one of their 3 channeled abilities to do a ton of small ticks of damage, and basically kill people through a near permanent fear that would never break. Number 7. The cheap shot / kidney shot combo. Rogues could cheap shot out of stealth for a 4-second stun, and then combo into kidney shot for another 6-second long stun, for a total of 10 seconds of stun. The longest stun chain in vanilla WoW without some kind of special items or gimmicks.
Not to be confused by the 2-minute stun chains in Mists of Pandaria that were just happening all the time.
The only real downside to the stun combo was the energy and combo points required to use the 2 abilities, which could be completely offset through some items like Thistle Tea. A 10-second stun was enough time for a gear rogue to kill a low armor target,
dude.
So it was technically possible for rogues to kill someone of equal level while never getting hit back in exchange. And with
yeah, that was the world of Roguecraft. Like, rogues were so fucking OP in vanilla WoW, it's disgusting. Like, I really do believe it's truly disgusting. Fucking tea. Yeah, they're gonna use Thistle Tea. Like, just the word triggers me. I don't even like to see the word.
very little skill involved. A 10-second stun was powerful back then, and would be powerful today.
Yep.
Although this 10-second stun wasn't exclusive to Vanilla WoW. It was a thing all the way until Cataclysm, when Blizzard finally put Kidney Shot and Cheap Shot on the same stun DRs. But it was really strong in Vanilla WoW too, and the cause of lots of complaints about rogues being too overpowered.
I wonder where those came from.
Funny enough, the thing that people associate rogues to, being able to CC someone to death without ever getting hit back, didn't actually involve the Cheap Shot Kidney Shot combo, which I'll get into a little bit more later on in this list. Number 6, Curse of Shadow and Negative Resistances. Before patch 1.9, you could cause targets to go into negative resistances with either Curse of Elements or Curse of Shadow.
Negative
resistances were a stat that would lower damage taken by their specific element and give you a chance to resist their effects. So having high shadow resistance meant you took significantly less shadow damage and could sometimes be immune to fear and other Shadow School debuff effects. Negative resistances basically did the opposite and caused you to do bonus damage to targets. So a Warlock throwing up a Curse of Shadow on a target, causing their shadow resistances to go into the negative, they could hit them for double damage shadow bolts.
What the fuck?
Which if they crit, could do a potential of 4 times their normal damage.
What the fuck?
Which was basically a guaranteed one-shot to any player.
That's really good.
This was so good that Blizzard just removed the ability to go into negative resistances in patch 1.9.
Would you guys want to see negative resistances? Because you have that in Path of Exile, right? I mean, Path of Exile has negative resistances, but it feels like... I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. Honestly, like, I mean, the issue with, like, resistances is that, like, in PvP, it's really hard to, like, gear because you have to get resistances for everything. And so then you have people that are, like, gearing towards one resistance, and they always beat people with that resistance, etc. So it feels like it would be really stupid in PvP. But I don't know. Maybe if they had it in PvE, that would be really cool. I always thought it was stupid that you could cast a fireball on a fire elemental. You know, I don't know. To me, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
As it was most likely a bug anyway, and unintended. Number 5, Mortal Strike. Mortal Strike was one of the hardest hitting instant attack abilities in the game, which scaled with weapon damage.
Yeah, it sure did.
For those of you who don't know, some abilities scale with weapon damage, and weapons have varying levels of damage based on speed.
It did a lot of damage.
So a fast weapon will do less damage than a slow weapon, since it hits more often. While a slow weapon will do a lot more single hit damage because it doesn't hit as often.
Weapon damage.
And that's how Blizzard balances them out with each other. So with an instant attack like Mortal Strike that scales off the weapon's damage and doesn't care at all about its speed, you want the slowest weapon possible to make sure it could hit the hardest. And this is where the Arcanite Reaper came to fame.
3.8.
The Arcanite Reaper was a high-level blue weapon that was somewhat easy to craft and extremely slow with an attack speed of 3.8, making it a monster of a weapon for warriors. It was so good, it even outclassed some epic two-handed weapons from Molten Core.
I actually like the idea of weapon speed being like a factor. Like having like a 3.2% 3.2 speed pole arm versus like the 4.0 speed big dick fucking great hammer. And I don't know, I just thought it was interesting. The only problem that I really had with this system is like in Dark Souls, for example, like slower weapons are really good for some things and faster weapons are really good for other things. But overall, fast weapons are, as far as I know, better. But in WoW, since everything basically just did weapon damage, there wasn't really any instances of a faster weapon really being better, except for maybe for generating threat, you know? And I think that was the main issue that they had with having weapon damage and like just like flat weapon damage being a modifier for the damage for like abilities. But if they had something where like faster weapons had their own advantage, maybe they would generate more rage, etc. I do think that it could have been a really cool system they could have built on and iterated on.
Despite being a level 58 blue item. So, coupled together with Mortal Strike, a middle-of-the-road geared warrior could take out half the health of a player with 1 MS.
Yeah, of course.
And even kill Clothies with a crit.
Of course.
It was easy, effortless power, and very widespread with how easy it was to obtain the Reaper.
Yeah, of course.
But come patch 1.8, Blizzard normalized weapon attack speed. And brought Mortal Strike more in line and no longer overpowered with an extremely slow weapon. And on a side note, because of the widespread use of the Arcanite Reaper, it was used as the model for the heirloom two-handed axe we have today. Number 4. Blind Prep. Ever hear the infamous stun rogue who killed max level geared players while naked and using a starting zone dagger? Well, that infinite stun combo actually didn't rely on stuns very much, and was in fact so strong because of Blind. You see, Blind is an instant cast, long form CC that breaks on damage.
This is
and Preparation is an ability rogues have that resets the cooldown of all other rogue abilities. So what the naked rogue in the video did was take advantage of the fact that Preparation could also reset the cooldown of Blind, and the fact that Eviscerate did static damage and didn't scale at all with gear. So what he did was double cheap shot with Vanish and then Blind. He'd wait the full blind duration in order to leave combat and re-stealth, then sap, and wait the full duration again for another re-stealth, since in vanilla WoW, sap made you leave stealth. Then,
it's like that dude's a grand motherfucking marshal, and he just got beat by a rogue that's not wearing any fucking gear. I mean, like, guys, listen, boosted? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, yes, there were more people, like, if you get Grand Marshal, it's called balance. Yeah, it is balanced. But it's a good player. So is the other guy, probably. And it's like, how do good players counter being unable to play their character until they die, right? It's like good players can't avoid a one-shot. This is kind of the same thing. Thinking Classic is balanced. Yeah, I mean, listen. Like, the way that I look at just Trinket, they're just going to vanish, man. Just reset, wait for your Trinket, do it again, right? That's all there is to it. It's sorry to say. Like, I mean, they just vanish and do it again. Like, the thing with rogues is that if you are a pussy-ass bitch and you play a rogue, you're going to do... It's what you do. This is how you play right here. Trinket Rend, then they can't. They can just always open,
prep to reset all cooldowns,
etc.
and then do the whole thing again. After going through 2 full rotations of this CC chain, along with at least 2 cold-blooded eviscerates, and a couple of other damage moves to build combo points, that's what allowed a naked rogue to kill fully geared players. And Blind was the crucial part of that whole CC chain, as Blind was what allowed the rogue to leave combat in order to use sap, which allowed cheap shots DRs to disappear.
Blind back then, you guys gotta remember, Blind back then was a poison. It wasn't like a CC in the same way it is now. Like, it was a poison, so you could be dispelled, and it also had a really, really short cooldown. I think it was like 30 seconds or something.
And let the rogue save all of his combo points for eviscerates. So it was really Eviscerate's static damage and Blind's cooldown resets that allowed the chain to be as effective as it was. And you could have someone CC'd for about 45 seconds straight
5 minutes
if you did it correctly,
for Blind?
Of which only 10 to 12 seconds of that were spent in stuns. And because of Blind's incredible usefulness with a cooldown reset from prep,
it was Blind was a 5-minute CD in vanilla WoW? Damn, like, I never played a rogue back then. I thought it was like it was like 30 seconds or something. I thought you could blind all the time. Fuck, okay. Yeah, you could skill it for just 3 minutes? Yeah, well, 3 minutes is still a lot more than 30 seconds. I was totally wrong. Prep? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that.
Blizzard made sure all future versions of Preparation excluded Blind from being reset, starting with the Burning Crusade. And that's how Preparation has worked ever since. Number 3. Windfury Weapon. During 2 points in vanilla WoW, Windfury Weapon was kind of broken and overpowered. Windfury is a Shaman weapon enchant that gave the Shaman a 20% chance on hit to proc 2 extra attacks. Before patch 1.4, this proc didn't have an internal cooldown, so it was possible for Windfury to proc off the 2 hits generated from Windfury, and theoretically could proc off of itself forever until the target died. This was also the time period before attack weapon normalization, and since the extra hits from Windfury basically counted as extra attacks, they did insane amounts of damage from a very slow 2-handed weapon, like the Arcanite Reaper. There was even a famous video of a Shaman going around with a legendary mace from Molten Core, one-shotting people with Windfury procs. Eventually though,
Warriors could do that easy. Like, the thing is, like, like a shaman's highlight reel is a warrior's, like, that's like B footage. You know, you show that between other things. Like a shaman's highlight reel. Oh my god, look at this big crit. Wow. And it's like warriors just do that all the time. So, like, whenever I originally saw that video, I wasn't impressed.
Blizzard added a 3-second internal cooldown to Windfury, so it couldn't proc off of itself anymore, and killed it even further with attack speed normalization in patch 1.8.
Yep.
But in patch 1.11, someone discovered that the individual ranks of Windfury didn't share an internal cooldown. So, if you dual-wielded weapons, you could apply the highest rank of Windfury to your main hand weapon, and then the second highest rank of Windfury to your offhand, and get 2 times the procs.
Oh my
which
god,
was pretty
dude.
Good. Until this too got nerfed, or fixed, in the Burning Crusade. Number 2, Will of the Forsaken. Will of the Forsaken was given to undead players as a racial with the launch of the game, when Blizzard decided to make undead players be counted as humanoid instead of undead, to retain some of the CC immunity that may have provided, as being classified as undead in the beta made them immune to a lot of CC that could only be used on humanoid targets.
I wonder, like, who the fuck thought that was gonna be balanced. Oh, well, they're just undead, so they just don't get CC'd by, like, fucking half of everything. It's like, who the fuck thought that was gonna be balanced? I wonder.
Like sheep, and just made them immune to fears altogether. So what Will the Forsaken did was break charm, fear, and sleep effects, and as well as make you immune to those effects for 20 seconds.
Yep.
Now, 20 seconds of fear CC immunity is huge, and that was a downgraded version of what undeads could do in the beta, which was be permanently immune to them, which is why I can see why Blizzard left that in the game for so long. Eventually, Blizzard thought giving a race 20 seconds of immunity to 3 CC effects, of which one of them, fear, being heavily used in PvP, was a little bit unfair compared to the other racials.
Don't worry about it.
So they nerfed it in patch 1.6 to only make you immune to those effects for 5 seconds instead of 20.
Yeah, it's a little bit more realistic.
Which was still powerful, but pissed off a lot of undead players. Someone took a screenshot back in the day of a list of reasons Blizzard thought players might be quitting WoW, and one of the options available was
what the fuck?
Because Will of the Forsaken was nerfed.
Wow.
Which was most likely a joke, but still kind of a big deal. Will of the Forsaken was always a strong racial throughout its whole life, and still gets nerfs even today. But it was at its strongest in vanilla WoW.
Yep.
And number 1, Pyroblast, or POM Mages.
3-minute mage.
Back in vanilla WoW, Blizzard balanced castable spells based on how long their cast times were.
Here we go.
So the longer the cast time, the more damage the spell did.
What a bunch of shit this was.
And Pyroblast had one of, if not the longest cast times of a single target nuke spell, clocking in at a 6-second cast time. It also had a 6-minute cooldown because it hit so hard.
Wait, Pyroblast had a 6-minute cooldown? What? I don't remember that at all. Presence of Mind did? I thought Presence of Mind was 3 minutes, but I thought Blind was 30 seconds, so, you know, it depends. Yeah, I thought it was 3, because, yeah, Presence of Mind was 3 minutes because they called it a 3-minute mage, because every 3 minutes, it doesn't matter how shitty you are at the game, if you're a mage, you can kill somebody every 3 minutes. And that's the way that it was going to work.
Now, arcane mages had this ability called Presence of Mind, which made your next spell instant cast, and worked on Pyroblast. Also, they had arcane power, which gave them 35% more damage for 15 seconds. Both of which were on a 3-minute cooldown, and neither was on the GCD. So if you had 2 good, on-you spell power trinkets, because before patch 1.10, you could use multiple on-use trinkets at once. CD. You could just macro in Presence of Mind, Arcane Power, your spell power trinkets, and Pyroblast to create one of WoW's very first one-shot macros.
That's a Swifty macro right there.
Except this one was literally a one-shot macro, and not just a clickbait burst macro. You could one-shot players with this macro, but only once every 3 minutes.
That's or, a badass video, dude.
6 minutes before Pyroblast's cooldown was removed in late vanilla.
Yeah.
As far as damaging abilities go, this was probably the most overpowered thing, as it was a guaranteed one-shot, instant cast range nuke that didn't require skill, outside of getting 2 good spell power trinkets and creating the macro. Now for some honorable mentions, things I thought to put in the list but decided against. For one,
the thing I find so funny about this whole list, right, is the fact that like warriors, they do so much damage that a normal, like a large crit from a warrior is what's considered a thing on this list, right? And it's like, yeah, warriors aren't that good at 1v1, okay? We got that. Everybody knows they're not that great at 1v1. But like whenever you go into like a BG situation, and you pop recklessness, you pop sweeping strikes, you go into berserker stance, you queue up a cleave, and you whirlwind at the same time, and 3 fucking people die because you just fucking delete them off the screen. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't put in sweeping strikes whirlwind combo, because that was OP as fuck. That's like an on-demand windfury. It was insane. Or you just get CC'd? Yeah, that's why you use a free action potion and you have like 3 healers behind you. And that way you don't die, right? But after all the CC runs off, then you kill everybody. That's how it would work.
One reason or another. That's basically just Reckoning. It was a Paladin talent that allowed a Paladin to solo a world boss. I didn't include it though, because for one, it's talked about to death.
There's a bug.
And everyone would probably be expecting it. And 2, the big reason, it was only in the game for like a day or 2.
Yeah, it's a bug. Who gives a fuck?
Obviously a bug and an oversight. I guess it would technically count, so I'm adding as an honorable mention, but these other things, were actually used in the game for more than a day. Of course, besides that, there might have been some other things I probably overlooked, so if you know of any other overpowered abilities or things in Vanilla WoW that I might have missed, I'd love to hear about them down in the comments.
Okay. So, number 1, let's look at this here. Warlock PvP in a nutshell. Fear, ... Fear, drain life, coil, spit, /lol. Death coil was fucking ridiculous. Like, I mean, this is so... You should have mentioned True Silver Champion shield proc with a Paladin. Who gives a fuck about Paladins? The animation in this video is really cool. I'm in this video. Rogue is the reason why I'm going to go Shaman Orc with mail armor. That's very true. Reckoning bug was only a handful of hours, and Blizzard rolled back to servers too. Back whenever classes were unique and had an identity. That's gonna be a big true from me. Yeah, that's gonna be a big true. I totally agree with that.